always good to have a room of guys that's more like family than a roster of players, you know. So and that's how I do it, and that's how we do it around here. So really excited to just spend more time with the guys away from football, but obviously on the football field. When spring ball starts, you get to really, you know, tighten down on some of the things that a guy that was here last year, you know what his flaws are, right? And you can speak to it, right? Coach B has us do something pretty amazing around here where you have to put a mental goal and a physical goal on their desk that they got to read every single day. And so you actually get to speak to whatever their weaknesses are and help them go through those, right? And so when you got a group of guys that's coming back, you really can aim in on those things and try and dial in on making them a better player in the offseason instead of just doing fluff and doing whatever. You can really focus in on what that guy needs particularly.
Corey, specifically Caleb and Torrey, another year after starting last year and getting in the system, what's their next steps as players?
Wow. For Caleb, it's now getting my hands on the ball more, right? And really trying to fight through discomfort, right? If I can't jam a guy, if I can't really do something physical to him, that's when you would see Caleb stress a little bit last year, you know? And so now we're trying to get him to push through that discomfort of sometimes you won't be able to get hands on, but now I maybe can track the route a little bit better and then get my hands on the ball, right? And so those are some of the things that he's working on. For Torrey, is just trying to take this thing to the next level. Adding another technique that works with your body type that can allow you to make even more plays on the ball. And so we saw some of the physical things that he did, obviously, in a bowl game. I mean, tackling and striking guys. And so he's continuously adding that to his game, which is natural for him. But we're trying to add it in a more deliberate way where it's always got something to do with production. You know what I mean? Maybe strips and punches at the ball, too. So definitely two different things, two different guys, but definitely good movement for them in the program.
How valuable is competition in your practice? When we watched practice, there was all the drills, but then when they started going at it, it seemed like it was chippy, maybe? Is that the right word?
Yeah, I mean, when you got Justin Stepp on the other side of the field and his group of receivers, you know, there's no back down to that. Every day I'm going to go at him. You know what I mean? And it's pretty exciting to see how that thing happens. And, you know, Luke is going to throw the ball around and he may say a little something and wink at you a little bit. So when you got that type of natural juice going, you live in it because this is what the players are here to play, right? And it's fun when it's exciting. It's fun when it's competition and you pick that thing up and it just gets going, and before you know it, you got something special going and it's natural. So the competition is a high level of ball for us, and it's something that we all, you know, live and believe in.
Juice Clark has talked about in the offseason. He saw enough depth in the back end that he didn't have to go to the transfer portal and look for more guys. So who are some of those guys that maybe got a lot of reps on the look team and stuff that maybe are ready to take a leap?
Wow. I mean, you're talking about a good group of them. You're talking about on Tanner Heckel, right? And obviously he's in that mix right now with the twos. He was a look team guy last year and did special teams primarily for us. You're talking about Grayson Griffin, who's fighting, but he was a look team guy and special teams guy with us. And then Amar Reynolds, right? Vernon Woodward. Both of those guys were look team guys, and now they're pushing the depth and they're making sure that Torrey understands and Caleb understands and Xavier understands, hey, there's a young dog that's chasing right behind you. And with the way that we go about it, they're coaching them and helping them guys too. So the competition is real, but ultimately they want to see success for their little brother too. So it's pretty cool to see how we do it around here, but most of all to see how, you know, Coach Bielema trusted that moment to say, hey, we're good there right now. Let's see what, you know, spring practices, you know, has to offer, and then we'll go back there if we need to. If not, we'll develop these guys that we have and we'll go from there.
Juice Clark played starters reps for most of the back half of the season. What growth did you see, and what growth are you seeing him now in this spring as a guy that is obviously going to play a lot?
Oh, just the love of the learning. Like he's a sponge, and he wants to learn, and he wants to pick up a technique and just grow and grow and grow in it. That he wants to keep me 15 minutes after practice, him and Tyson Rooks, and want to keep me after practice every day to do extra 5 to 10 to maybe 15 minutes of those same drills just so he masters it. But his love for the game is true. His passion is who he is. And so that love for the game and that drive that he has, you see it all coming together with the technique and confidence that he plays with. So last year you saw the technique moving, and now you see him actually living in and making pass breakups and things like that at practice and creating a lot of TFLs even in the screen game that he did maybe in practice 1 or 2.
What did trial by fire do for him last year, going up against some of those receivers he saw late in the
Yeah,
year?
you learn very, very fast for a guy like Juice. Like, hey, you got to be technically right. You know what I mean? Because if you're just trying to be an athlete versus athlete, if that guy is better and he's running forward and you're starting off running backwards, you will get beat. And so the best thing for you at times is just that ball got caught on you and you learn, oh man, I gotta tighten up that technique a little bit. And so that's why you see him focusing so much and trying to be better technically, because he knows he's got some athletic gifts. Now he's just trying to match it with the technical gifts as well.
We heard from Aaron about Tanner Hackle. What's that move maybe been like for him, to play more corner or nickel?
Yeah, again, just like Juice, his love and passion for the game, he loves being coached. Like if I tell him to do, and I saw that last year out of him and Juice. Actually, I love the fact that Coach Disher and Coach Bielema allowed me to help out with the hold-up guys with the corners in punt return, because I got an everyday feel of what it feels like to coach them and what they can take in, what type of coaching that they can respond to. So you see a guy like Tanner that's just like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and he's like, whatever you tell him, he's going to do it. But the other thing about it, sometimes when you got players like that, they're just doing what you tell them to do. Well, this dude, he's doing what you tell him to do, but he's extremely fast and he's extremely athletic. So he's doing what you tell him to do, but he's doing it at a high level. So I'm really, really excited to see how he continues to produce. But most importantly, like you said, continuously works to learn and be confident about what we're doing.
I guess with him and like Tyson Brooks, they got a lot of guys that played in another different sport.
Yes.
In high school, what do you see from them? And do you see their previous sports kind of come out of them at corner?
Yeah, well, it's my job to make sure that I'm talking about other sports and I'm creating a correlation between a basketball step and slide to cut people off in press, because both of those guys were basketball players, right? Well, I was a high school basketball coach. I was a track coach. I was blessed. I think God has put me in a situation where I've been able to learn all of these sports and how to coach it, because now I'm in a place where I'm coaching players who's played all of these sports. So I try and correlate with Tyson and with Tanner on, hey, this is something that you can actually think about and say, it's the same space, different sport, but you're moving your body the same way, and the light bulb cuts on. Like, oh, that's same. Yes, sir. Same. A basketball slide, step, slide, shuffle, trying to cut somebody off as they're dribbling ball up the court. That's dang near the same as playing catch man and somebody's trying to approach you. You're just stepping and replacing your feet. You can't just open up and turn, because he gets to go to the basket very, very fast. When I said that to Tanner the other day in meetings, he was like, gotcha, coach. You don't have to say anything else. And Tyson the same way. I mean, this dude is a big, long dude, and just, hey, he's tennis. This dude has played tennis growing up. If you extend your arm getting a pass breakup, but use the correct arm, which arm is going to get to the ball first? And he looks and he's like, I got you, coach. And so you try and put those parallels together. And I'm no genius, but I ain't a fool either when I say this is the sport. This is what you got to do to be good at that sport. This is this sport, and this is what you got to do to be good at it. If you somehow create those correlations between the physical movements, sometimes you help the kid out, and that's the most important to me.
Coach, recruiting is going about as well as we've seen around here for quite some time. So what do you think's resonating with those kids out on the trail?
Well, out on the trail, we're real. We're as real as it gets. The kids can see that through how our players respond to us, how our players are playing. They know that we're a family here, and most kids want to be a part of that, right? And so I think those realistic point of views of who we are and how we do things are helping us, in addition to having a 10-win season too, right? You put those two things together, and for most student athletes, they want to be a part of something that's successful. They want to be a part of a family, and they want to be around good coaches. And I think at this point, the players have identified a lot of the coaches that we have here as great men, great father figures, and ultimately great people that develop you on the field.
How valuable?
Do you prefer guys that play multiple sports in high school?
Oh, I love it. I mean, because now when we get out on the road to do a physical evaluation, it may not be football season, but we may be able to get to a track meet or a basketball game. We get to see him at his most competitive moment. And that's what you want to see. Yeah, it's cool to go to a school and see a kid in the weight room, bench press, and do all that stuff. But you also want to just see how he competes and takes coaching. And sometimes that happens at a basketball game or at a track meet and things like that, or at a baseball game. So I love multi-sport athletes because it gives you a good feel of who he is when the game is on the line, right in crunch time, because ultimately that's what you're going to get after you recruit him and you develop him yourself.
No, Pat Bryant, Scottie Franklin, obviously they graduated, but what have you kind of seen in practice with the new wide receivers going against your defensive backs?
Oh, wow, man. Coach Stepp's a good recruiter, good coach, and those are some really, really good players. I mean, you're talking about Hudson, you're talking about J-Bo, right? You're talking about some guys that are making some plays, right, and doing some things down the field and creating some issues. And so when you look at those guys, you look at Zakari being gone now, you look at Pat being gone, you look at those guys and you say they brought a special element to our offense and our team. But you look at these guys, they'll be able to bring a special element to our offense and our team, but in their way, because they're totally different from maybe those other guys. They're just going to have to stick to being tough, smart, and dependable if they're going to push the depth and end up becoming a one for us and really helping us on the field. So I'm excited to see those guys because they've given us some problems in one-on-ones and Skelly, and so we've had to answer it. And anytime you got to go back to the drawing board and fix something, you're really working against someone that's really, really good and really, really coached.
And Xavier, obviously, great year last year. What's it just been like with him this offseason? What goals do you have for him so he can even be better?
Wow, Xavier, I mean, just continuously push the room, right? Treat every single day as if you're a pro. And when I mean push the room, that's mentally and physically. If he sees something on the sideline and he knows that's not who we are, it's not what we do, he's going to have a conversation with the guys about it, right? He's going to have it right then and there on the field, and he's going to have it in meetings too. So you see that and you know, like, wow, that's just amazing leadership. But it's going to help him move on further inside of his career as a person, right? He's going to be able to have crucial conversations with people when things are tough, right? But he's going to be able to have it with his peers and know exactly how to reach them. So ultimately for Xavier, it's those things. Treat every single day as if you're a pro in the training room. Treat every single day as if you're a pro or watching film. But ultimately, make your teammates want to follow you becoming a pro by how you go about your approach, how you communicate with them when you're on the field, watching them and evaluating them, and obviously working with them.